This is another project that Selena's working on that she'll tell you more about later. We have burned several bonfires in this particular place. It's really good. It's far enough from the treehouse and far enough from the really big trees and in the center of the yard, so it's really kind of a convenient place for it. It's really close to the new outhouse, so it's convenient. If we've got a great big bonfire going and people coming and going and enjoying themselves, it's nice. It's close to the venue, it's close to everything. She's going to be bringing in a whole bunch more rock. Her plan is to go ahead and set this in concrete and possibly even put a few permanent benches around it, far enough from the fire so they'll be comfortable, and just have a permanent place where we can enjoy great big bonfires. She's also talking about fixing a place where this cauldron can be set up permanently so we can do Viking stew and other things while we're doing a bonfire. It could be a lot of fun. I'll film more as she works on it. It is quite some time later, and Selena's got another load of rock and is laying it in here. Hopefully she will have a chance to talk to you about it. This is going to be so cool.
I got my stupid hat on.
You're on.
Oh. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of How I Spent the Apocalypse. As you can see, I have my really stupid hat on again, but my head is warm, so there's that. I'll go get a stupid hat, because I once figured out that you could increase your odds of survival in any tragic situation by wearing a silly ass hat. Because, for instance, there's a tornado blowing through. What are your odds of being killed by a tornado while wearing a silly ass hat?
There you go.
So that's my rule. When things get really bad, you put the silly ass hat on.
Or when it's cold.
I had to get out of here yesterday. I just had to, but I don't want to go anywhere. It's unsafe. So I went to my son, the genius's house. We went on a wonderful hike in the woods that he owns. Went up to check out an old Indian graveyard that's on his place and all this really neat artifacts and stuff. We found all kinds of cool shit. It was a neat adventure. I went on it with him and the two boys. We wore masks. We were hiking in the woods, fairly safe. But in order to justify me going out, I had to get a load of rocks. So me and the boys filled up the back of my truck with a load of rocks that are sitting behind Meyer's garden that he wants out of there so he can get to his water catchment system if he wants to with his four-wheeler. So it's one hand washing the other, doing two things at once. I always love that. Okay, I've got this huge bonfire pit that I've been working on. And when you bring home an entire truckload of rocks, you think, I can do my whole fire. No. I'm trying to do a fire ring that'll come out to about where this bench is on this end, all the way around. And so what I'll do is and you guys will see me do this later. Right now, all I'm doing is laying the rocks out in a pattern. If Lynn will come over here, you can see.
I already showed
what
him.
I've already, okay. So you can see what I'm doing. I'll lay it out in a pattern. And then when I pour the cement, I'll show you how I actually make it more level. This over here looked exactly like this when I put it in. And as you can see, it's as level as you're going to make a rock walkway. That's not out of hewn stones. If you're using sandstone, that's all the same
Thickness, yeah.
thickness. But these are literally trash rocks thrown out of a garden. Okay, so what I do is I just kind of look at what I've got, and I'm told this is a skill, but to me it just seems simple. You look at the rock in your hand and you look at what you've got and then you just put it where it's gonna fit. And I can do this pretty quickly. I guess that's why they say it's some kind of skill. I don't know. Because I can do this pretty quickly just by looking at the rock and looking at the hole and just, you know, use your own best gauge. Now see this one? See this one, how it's rounded on the edges? I don't want to dick with that. So what I'm going to do is spin that, okay? Because when I go to put the cement in, I can pour cement under the edges and level it, and then I don't have that rounded part. So, yeah, and you just kind of look where it's going to fit the best, and then just stick rocks in. Ooh, like this one will go right there really nicely.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then you've made another weird shape, so you get another weird shaped rock and stick in there. It's actually fairly simple. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, except if you get the pieces in the wrong order, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right, you can just change
A
it.
little bit more cement, and you can always change it later. But a whole lot of it is just being able to look at the space you're trying to fill and fill it. Like I said, I don't know how much of a skill it is. People tell me it is, but I don't feel that way because it's just not all that.
I know you think if you can do it, it's not a talent. I know.
Not that difficult.
That's awesome. Well, we'll come back when you're doing something different, okay? Okay?
Well, or I could talk to them. or
You can
something.
talk if you want. Go for it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. So, what's going on in the world right now? Right now, what's going on in the world is the president's still trying to steal the election. And now he's thrown Vice President Pence under the bus. So,
Yeah, so this is actually early January
yeah.
of 2021.
January. Right now, currently the elections are happening in Georgia. So by now you guys already know what was going on around the elections. You don't need me to tell you. I always just work more the more stressed I am. So my thing is, I don't understand how people don't see that having one person that makes so many people unhappy could ever be a good thing. I just don't. So, but I think that's what we all have to do. We just have to knuckle down and keep going. Because otherwise, this time will literally drive us insane.
Yep.
It'll push us past the brink. I've been there a couple of times. I'm sure a lot of you have. It's not a good time to try to get your spiritual self in order, much less your mental health. So, somebody like me who was already crazier than a shithouse rat when this started, this time has made me just flinchy. But I have gotten a lot done.
I can attest to that.
That is the way I deal with my problems, by doing more than most humans do. And no, I don't want to be judged for that. I don't want to be judged for anything, really. If I'm honest. Ooh, that's a nice fit. Look there. There you go. Ooh, that's a nice rock. Okay, and I have a ginormous rock that my son, the genius, it was so pretty, he wanted to make sure it got used for something good. And so I told him that I could pick it up, but I mostly slid it into the car, into the wagon from my truck bed. So let's see if I was telling the truth or not. Ladies, I did take a whiz before I went to pick this rock up. Because as any woman over 50 knows, if you pick up something heavy, or laugh, or breathe hard,
Or sneeze.
or sneeze, there's a tendency to pee yourself, which isn't very romantic or, I don't know, fun at all. It's just a fact. All right, so this is a heavy motherfucker.
Oh,
Now,
Lord.
if I cannot pick it up, I will show you what I do. But I'm going to try to pick it up because it'll
Why?
be easier.
Oh.
All right. So I want to lift with my legs, right? Good luck with that. I don't know how people fucking do that. How do you get down and First off, my knees are a lot worse than my back at this point. All right, so I'm gonna roll that sucker up there. Kind of walk it on my knees. Do you see what I'm doing?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm showing
Then
it.
I'm gonna drop it over here. Because what I want to use it for is when I get done with my fire ring this way, I'm gonna make it about this high over here. And several places around the edge, I want to put a rock like that on top of that for a bench. Because what happens with a bonfire? It starts out so goddamn hot, you have to be all the way over there to keep from burning your face.
Right.
And by the time you get done fucking with it,
You want to sit in it.
you have to sit on top of it. So if I make a goddamn bench in the fire pit,
That's right.
when it dies down, we can go sit in it.
Besides, it's a beautiful bench for those days when there is no fire.
Well, yeah, there's that too, I
Yes,
guess.
yeah.
People
yeah.
just hanging around a fire pit when there's no fire.
Yeah. Watching you
what
work.
a bunch of whack doodles.
Watch-
Oh, that's what they do.
They watch you
me
work. Yeah.
Maybe I could charge admission. Come and watch me fucking work. Watch me fucking work.
It's exhausting. You'll get your exercise watching her work.
Watch me work. I'm gonna sell tickets. I think I have proven, though, over and over again, that anything I'm doing, there's no money in it. So that's the main reason you should be watching this. The main reason you should be watching this is to find out what not to do
To make
if
money?
you want to make money.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Okay.
So, goodbye for now. All right. So one of the reasons, so yesterday I went and got rocks, right? So I filled up the back of my truck with rocks. The other thing is that we made a list and got an order pulled at the feed store. So of course I had a whole truckload of rocks when they called and told me, hey, your feed order's ready. So now I had to empty the truck in a hurry so that I can now go and get feed. Almost every place is doing curbside delivery now. Restaurants, feed stores, grocery stores, Walmarts, everything. There is literally no excuse to go inside. For me, at this point, shopping inside would be so stressful because nobody here will wear a mask. Nobody. We're in the middle of the beginning of what is going to be the biggest surge in this pandemic. Everyone just had to get together for the holidays. None of them did anything they were supposed to do. The same people that have been spreading this the whole time were the very ones that threw every caution to the wind and just went and hung out with their families. You know, the same families that they avoid most years if they possibly can. Oh, Aunt Selma, I can't go to Christmas this year. I've got a bone in my leg. But those same motherfuckers all got together this year. So, no, I do not think it's fun to go shopping right now. I have no desire to go in and walk the aisles where some fucker's been running around without his mask 10 minutes before me, spewing what is probably the new, easier to get COVID-19 virus. I'm waiting for a freaking vaccine before I do that kind of shit. And even then, I'm gonna wear a mask until they say don't wear a mask. When they tell me it's safe to go into a freaking store without a damn mask, then I'll do it. 'Cause you know why? I'm not a pussy. People that won't wear a mask right now, that won't social distance, that won't do what they're told, why don't they just admit they are the weakest willed? It's not about freedom, you assholes. You know what? Freedom comes with responsibility. The responsibility to protect yourself and others. You fuckers that keep waiting in the goddamn virus and then running to the hospital and expecting them to heal you. That is the biggest hypocritical freaking thing I've ever seen. If it's a hoax and it's not all that bad, then you sit home and you die. Because you're the problem. We're not weak. The ones of us that are staying home, that are doing what we're the tough ones. All you fuckers running around with your freedom, 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 bullshit. I call bullshit. And that's all I have to say about that, because I'm in a happy, sunny mood today, can you tell? Hey, boys and girls, yay! There's an apocalypse! We should write a song. If I was Randy Rainbow, I would.
Bye.
Bye.